Welcome to another episode of Big Sibling Energy. And on today's episode, I'm going to give feedback on the Q&A that I asked. Earlier about how do you think being a firstborn affects someone's approach to romantic relationships? If you're a firstborn, you have noticed certain traits or challenges that show up in your love life, and if you have dated a firstborn, what stood out to you about their behavior in the relationship? Yeah, so I'm going to give feedback. Some of you gave us some amazing feedback, and that's the feedback I'm going to give today. So the first feedback was, because we really have a lot of responsibility in the society, and the society also expects a lot from us. So I think being a firstborn, and then there are a lot of expectation in the society. That's why maybe our romantic relationships are not working well. I don't know. He needed to explain more, but he didn't explain more about what are the expectations from the society and how does it affect our romantic relationships. The other response was, firstborn daughters need someone stable, generous, loving, and patient. Is that true? Hey, but that's true. For me, I can say yes. Someone generous, loving, and patient. Because sometimes we can be overwhelmed with some things, and then I think our patience is low. That's why, yeah, we need someone who is patient with us. Someone who will be able to understand. I know someone is be generous to us. So the problem comes in, now you're a firstborn and you're dating a firstborn. Both of you need someone generous, kind, and loving. So maybe you can try to figure out on how to handle that, both of you. Yes. And the other response was, as a firstborn, let me tell you, Maina, sometimes you're forced to stay in toxic relationships because you are supposed to act as a good example to others. A firstborn is a deputy parent. We are meant to give directions, and as a lady, and to supervise. So at times we transfer this to our real relationships. Yeah, that's true. Because now, for example, you're a firstborn and then you're in a toxic relationship. So you feel like, if I get rid of this relationship or if I quit, others will feel like, okay, what am I doing in this relationship? My sister was also, she's just moving from one relationship to another. So you tend to stay in that relationship because of your reputation, and that's not right. If something doesn't work out for you, it's not good to stay somewhere toxic. Yes. Another one said, there's a strong need of responsibility, acting as a helper to their parents, a need to take charge, translates to desire to lead in a relationship which might not align with their partner's preference. They fear to risk for avoidance of failure due to high expectations and perfectionism. Okay. Sometimes I agree with this one, because now if you've always taken charge or lead as a firstborn, maybe you're taking care of your siblings, sometimes you find yourself taking charge in a relationship, of which in a relationship, like for example, as a lady, you're not supposed to take charge or lead in a relationship. Let a man be in charge of that relationship. Let the man lead that relationship. So that's also affects us as firstborns. And also responsibility. So for example, you find me, I used to take responsibility of my siblings before I got in that relationship or that marriage. And then now I'm in that marriage. How will I continue taking that responsibility? And then, for example, something like you're used to take some responsibility, and then you find a man who wants to take fully charge of all responsibilities. You feel like you're doing nothing in that relationship because you're used to taking responsibility. So that's another challenge that affects our romantic relationship as firstborns. Another response was hyper independence. That thing is not a joke. The battle in a relationship is that you have to be a man more than I am. I remember my guy always I remember my guy always worried about the other guys, and whenever I said your competition is not the other guy but me, he didn't believe me. I know my truth, so okay, I didn't understand that. But I think what she meant is, for example, you're a firstborn and then you're competing with your guy, maybe taking responsibility and doing other things, because now you're not competing, your competition is not the other guy but yourself, because you feel like, okay, I'm used to doing this, I can do this for myself. So you feel like that affects our relationship, because you feel like, okay, even if you don't do this, I'll do it for myself. Compared to when there's a competition with another guy, you say, maybe there's another guy doing it for her. Yes, so you're trying to make yourself more perfect and more better. That's what it means. Another one said, others view love as emotions. For us, it's partnership. Okay. I can't talk about love. But someone should tell us, why do you think we take love as partnership and not emotions? Okay, and how does love become partnership? I think love comes from emotions. So I'm not going to talk about it. Yes. Another one said, trait of firstborns that may affect relationships are responsibility. Firstborns often take a nurturing or caretaking role. This can make them reliable partners, but it may also lead to them feeling overburdened or taking on too much responsibility in a relationship. That's number one. Point number two was perfectionism. They may have high demands for themselves and their partners, which can create pressure to achieve or maintain a certain image in the relationship. The other one was conflict aversion. So due to their caregiving nature, firstborn may avoid conflicts or struggle with expressing their needs. So those were the traits, and then she also gave the challenges. So the first challenge was overcommitment. Firstborn may overcommit themselves, leading to stress in the relationship. The second one was difficulty with vulnerability. So they might find it hard to be vulnerable and to express their true feelings. Jealousy or control issues. Their protective nature can sometimes translate into jealousy or a need to control situations. So this one, I think she's a lady. She also gave an observations from dating a firstborn. So observations from dating a firstborn: dependability. Firstborns tend to be very dependable and often bring stability into the relationship. Okay. And then the other one was protectiveness. So they may be more protective and supportive, often prioritizing their partner's well-being. So this one was so detailed because he gave the traits of firstborn that affect relationship, and also she gave the challenges, and also she gave her own view, observations from what she thinks from dating a firstborn. She has dated a firstborn. Yes. So the other one said, you want to fix everything. So as firstborns, you want to fix everything, even when they don't want you to, in as much as you do it in love. So they take it negatively most if not all times. Yes, because I think when you're used to taking charge and control of things, you find it coming automatically. Like for example, you're used to taking responsibility and doing a lot of things. So even if you find yourself in a relationship, you will find yourself taking control, trying to be responsible, the responsible one, the one that maybe pays the bills. Like you're doing the larger portion of that relationship, you're the one taking charge of it. And I think we need to work on that, and then try to like at least give someone else a chance to take charge and take lead of that relationship. It's not, yes, we are used to doing that, but we need to adjust. It's something that we need to adjust because it affects our romantic relationship. Because now you find a man and then you're the one wants to take charge of everything. You'll be like, okay, hiyo ni kama anataka kuni control, and it's not control because it comes naturally. You don't force it to come out. It just comes naturally because you're used to taking responsibilities. So those are some of the feedbacks from the Q&A. Give us more feedbacks, and on what do you think being a firstborn affect romantic relationship? Whether you have dated a firstborn, you are a firstborn, yes, and then if you have experienced, maybe your friend, your family members dated a firstborn, what were your experiences with that and what you saw? Tell us in the comment section. Yeah, so that is it about this video. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe, like, share, and comment, and give us feedback on the comment section. Bye bye.